Okay, so this is my review of Mafex number 192 RoboCop battle damage version with Murphy's head showing. And I'm just going to preface this by saying that this figure is literally a holy grail for me. RoboCop is my favorite movie of all time, so there's going to be a little bit of bias in this review, obviously. And I've basically been waiting for this figure to come out basically my entire life. So I saw this movie way before I was supposed to, and yeah, it turned me into a RoboCop fanatic. And I'm only talking about the 1987 movie, but anyway, onto the figure. So this is a new release. I got it from Ami, Japanese site, and that was the cheapest I found it, for around $89 total, including shipping. And that was with DHL shipping too, so it came very fast in like a week. So look around. It's pretty expensive on sites like Big Bad and any US site, so I'd recommend you try to get it from Japan if you can. And get these while you can, because what I noticed is RoboCop figures tend to shoot up in price, and if you could just look at some of the prices on old, and it's Mafexes in general, but yeah, RoboCop figures tend to go up because it's a pretty niche character, and a very popular one too. So get it while you can. And just to summarize, yeah, this figure is great. I did play around with it before the review, but let's get into it first, and let's go over his dimensions. And it's a Japanese figure, and usually companies like Mafex Figure Arts, they tend to scale down a little bit, but let's see how tall he is. And I'm just going to lay him down for a second, just so it's a little bit easier to measure him. Looks about, and yeah, scales dead on, around 6.5 feet. And I'm pretty sure that's how tall RoboCop is supposed to be. I think he's around 7 feet, with all the cybernetics and everything. So yeah, he's a pretty big person, and this figure doesn't disappoint. So 6.5 inches, definitely a lot to play with here. In terms of weight, and yeah, like I said in the previous videos, I do care about the weight. It does differentiate a kind of cheap, crappy feeling figure versus something that's actually premium. And yeah, he's heavy, so 3.5 ounces. Most figures in this scale are around 2 ounces or so. This one's 3.5, and he's not even using any die cast, so big boy. Yeah, good. Really like that. Good. So he's got a nice size to him. He's got a good weight. Definitely getting your money's worth here. And yeah, he's expensive, but you know what? It's these days 1/12 scale is just way up there in price. For a character like this, I had to pay it, and it was just non-negotiable. So RoboCop figures are always going to be expensive like this, unless you're talking about like McFarlane, but it is what it is. And in terms of articulation, let's go over that next. Oh, actually, before we look at the articulation, I just want to show you kind of like the details on his armor. They completely nailed the face sculpt. That looks exactly like Peter Weller. And I mean, you wouldn't expect any less from Mafex, but this is just stunning. I've been waiting for this figure for literally over 20 years, and it doesn't disappoint. Insane. The damage on the armor is just spot on. Looks exactly like out of the movie. And I actually thought my figure came broken, so when you get yours, don't be surprised if you see this little shin piece missing. It's supposed to be like that. Yeah, because he's battle damaged. The shading is amazing. They nail the blues and purples and all that, so that's great. He's even got like the kind of crappy, dingy water leaking out of him from that last scene. So yeah, they really nailed the aesthetic on him. Look at that, just caked with mud and sludge from that factory scene. Very nice. Extremely well painted. Yeah, Mafex really blows it out of the water, so I don't even feel bad paying like $90, which I don't agree with for the 1/12 scale, but it is what it is. And Mafex used to be like 60-ish, but again, not going to complain too much about that. Okay, so on to articulation. Let me just take this gun out of his hand, and we'll get back to that when I go over the accessories. Oops, let me just set him down there for a second. Okay. And yeah, his hands come on and off with just the right amount of force. So Figure Arts, take a hint. Okay, I'm not afraid that this thing's gonna break because it comes off with decent pressure and it's not gonna fall off either. This is how you should do a wrist. A nice straight peg, and it does everything you want. So there's no risk of it falling off, and especially there's no risk of it breaking. And you know, with figure arts, I always have to heat them up. This figure I didn't have to heat up at all. So let's just go straight into articulation. Now you might have noticed I did use the leg drop down here, so I'm just gonna put it back because you won't get it with the legs drop down like that. And let's start the head. So head looks like it's on a double ball joint, and he's got a neck. He's got a ball joint in the lower neck too, so you could really look down. You could look up. Look at that. He could look up very well, and you can see all the details in the neck also when he does that. So head is great. You could do pretty much whatever. Arms, and you know, it's RoboCop. He's not like the most limber character, so the arms do what they're supposed to do. You know, they go out and up. You do get a full 360, so that's good. You could go up, down. They do pop out a little bit, which is good. So you could really get his like auto 9 pointing wherever you needed to. Elbows are on a double. Works well. Look at that. So nicely done. Wrists. Looks like they're on a ball swivel. They do what you need to. Yep. Good, and you can get the vertical out of those too if you needed to for the gun holding. So that works perfectly. Diaphragm. Let me see if I get that upper one. Don't think there's anything in the upper. There is one towards the central diaphragm cut. Lower diaphragm also. Looks like it's on a ball joint. Feels like a ball joint. See, it goes side very well. You go back about that much. Goes forward decently. And again, it's RoboCop, you know, not going to be doing like acrobatics. Legs. Now, they don't go up at all, pretty much. But you do get the drop down. And that goes up like this. And, you know, you shouldn't be doing that anyway, because at what point does RoboCop kind of like kick out like that? But yeah, if you want to make him stepping up on something, looking badass, like looking like that, holding his gun up or whatever, yeah, you could do it. And the nice thing is, yeah, this thing does function. This thing does serve a purpose, because if you want him like stepping forward, like you saw me have him in the beginning of this video, yeah, you need that drop down. So drop down's definitely appreciated, especially for a bulky character like this. You could have got around. I know some people don't like the drop down. I'm okay with them as long as they do them solidly, and I think they did here. You could push the leg out a bit, but that does kind of ruin the sculpt. And I'll show you an example of another RoboCop figure that kind of did that. Either one is fine, but it's really just preference. For me, I really don't care as long as it works. So, yeah, arms, wrists, we went over all that. Yeah, knees are just single, 90 degrees. They're not double jointed or anything. These pistons, originally I thought they were going to be some like flimsy thing, but they seem like they're pretty well made. They're on like a ball joint. That's another good thing. So there's really a very low risk of them breaking unless you really roughhouse the hell out of it. Wrist, my mistake. Ankles, let's see. You go up and down, and they do have a gentle rocker. Again, you're not going to be doing deep stances with RoboCop, so it works. Good. Okay, and now in terms of his accessories, let's go over those. So he comes with state-of-the-art Bang Bang, Cobra assault cannon. Comes with a bipod already folded in. You could unpeg that actually, like that. Comes out very smoothly. And if you want to kind of replicate that scene, if you have a 1/12 Ford Taurus, you could. Not exactly sure how that goes. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So you could prop it up against like a 1/12 car, and yeah, you could kind of recreate that scene with that 209 towards the end. It works. Looks nice. Obviously, he comes with his KSC Auto 9. Looks good. Okay. He does come with the leg holster attachments, and I'll show you how to use those in a second. And basically that's just so you could kind of recreate like the holstering, unholstering of that gun. I'll show you how to use that. He does come with a gun blast effect. Okay. Let's take a look at his hands also. So he already has an open hand. He comes with a pair of open hands. Okay, that's one of them. He does come with pointing hand. Let's see what else we got here. He's got a hand for holding the kind of cans of baby food. I'll show you that in a second also. He's got another trigger hand. That might be for the Cobra cannon. Might be a bigger grip, just so you could fit that in his hand. Oh, oops. Dropped one. And he comes with the Robo middle finger or data spike. Looks good. And he comes with 2 fist hands also, so that's good. And yeah, he does come with, and this is probably just Mafex going all out, but yeah, he comes with 3 cans of baby food also. So you could really have fun with this. Like, you could line up these cans, recreate that scene where he's, and it even has the baby's like freaking face on it. So you could really recreate pretty much like that last bit of RoboCop, all of it. And you know, probably never gonna happen, but if they made a figure of Lewis or Clarence Barker, I'd definitely get them, and I hope they do, because this movie is just, for me, it's iconic. So anything RoboCop, I'll get it. Let's take a look. Let me just fix this a little bit. Okay. And he does come with a stand, and yeah, easy to put together. And it's actually a nice stand. Really holds him well. But you know, I don't really like using stands. But if that's your thing, yeah, it does come with a very nice stand. And that's pretty much it. I'll just show you some size comparisons for fun. Let me just get the camera adjusted. Sorry, I'm really shitty with the camera, but let me just get this kind of focused. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so just move this out of the way. This is him next to the Paintwork RoboCop. And I'd say this one is still probably my favorite RoboCop figure, just because it's him in his pristine condition, like when he walks out for the first time. And this one's made of die-cast, so this one's an absolute brick. Articulation on this one is definitely better, though. And this is what I was talking about. The hip is pushed out a little bit, and it still looks great. And he's pretty posable, too. But that's another story. But yeah, this is my favorite RoboCop of all time. And they look like... This one's definitely bulkier, right? So it's just what it is. But this is, I think, definitely a level above in terms of RoboCop. Okay. Here he is against Ed 209. So you could really just recreate any battle scenes you wanted between these two. Good. Okay. Here he is with just a standard McFarlane figure. This is my kind of custom Wonder Woman 7-inch scale figure. Obviously, she's gonna have some height on him, barely, but yeah, well, not barely, but yeah, 7-inch figure. What can you say? He's around 6.5. She's 7. Good. There you go. Here he is up against the best Predator figure that NECA ever made. Scar Predator. He's massive. He's like 8 inches or something. So, yeah, absolute monster, this one. I wish NECA made Predators like this still. Look at how beefy he is. Predators are goddamn monsters. Why are they so skinny with the newer figures? But okay. And here he is with my custom Gogeta SH Figuarts. And yeah, he's short, but yeah, Goku's a short guy, kind of. Yeah, so he scales well. Yeah, you could put him with whoever you want. He'll look nice. And here he is against a sideshow RoboCop. Hot Toys for all your "don't ever talk to my son" or son memes. Yeah, there you go. And let me see, what else am I missing? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So he's a great figure. He looks amazing. He articulates very well. Way higher quality than most Figuarts these days. Or Figmas for that matter. Mafex is really killing it. I actually get excited buying Mafex. With Figuarts, other companies, I'm just like, what do I have to do to make sure these things don't break? This thing just works right out of the box. And it looks absolutely stunning. Mafex is definitely one of my favorite companies, for sure. Probably my favorite in terms of Japanese companies, #1. Price is a little, whatever, but what can you do? That's just how it is these days, right? Oh, and one more, since I have him out here. Here he is with the SH Figuarts cooler. Big guy, so there you go. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Definitely get him. Absolutely stunning figure. Probably my holy grail for me, but I'm sure you'll like it too if you're into RoboCop at all. And get him while you can, because RoboCop figures, they shoot up in price across the board. So, yeah, thanks for watching. And almost forgot, let me just show you how to do the leg attachment. So it's just a piece that comes out here. Just pry that off. Okay, just comes right off. And to put the leg attachment in, let's see, looks like that should go. Looks like that's the back leg. So yeah, this one goes on the back towards his rear. And you'll see like a little hole there, just line it up. You just line that up in there and just plug it in. And make sure you get it in flush. There you go. Make sure that seam is in. Don't force anything. Don't hold it by this piece, otherwise you're probably going to break it. Alright, so hold it by the thick piece right there. Okay, once you have that lined in, the front piece. And again, you see this little hole right there, that little slot, just again line it up. And this should be nice and easy. Yeah, and two things to line up, that little slot there, this one up here. And it looks like that's it. And again, be careful, don't push on the little gray plastic. Be gentle, do not force anything. And there it is, good. And then if you want to put the gun in, you can. It just goes in like that. Done. And yeah, looks sick. And honestly, I prefer this over kind of like the opening mechanisms on other figures, because this is just easier to work with. And a lot of times, yeah, I appreciate the fact that companies do that with the leg, like the Hot Toys and everything. They did it pretty well. Even then, it feels a little bit cheap. This is just easier and less chance of something breaking. Just I'd much rather have it like this. Holster just seems to work much more nicely. And yeah, that's it. So, as promised, as I use the leg holster, that's my preferred way of doing it. Very nicely implemented. Okay, and that's it. All right, thanks for watching.